Hey, let's kick it off. Let's do it.
Meat Dudes.
Welcome, ladies and Meat Dudes. We're actually here
Meat Dudes.
at Buckshot Honey here in Snoqualmie with Dave, our good buddy.
Hi, guys.
What's up, man?
Doing what we do.
Dude,
It's a beautiful day.
it's beautiful. We decided
In
to come out here and
Snoqualmie.
visit Dave, man. And yeah, so we're out here at Buckshot Honey. And so Dave gets all his beef and pork from Preservation Meats, Pure Country Farms.
True.
So I first met you when we were doing the farm tour of Pure Country Farms.
On the back of a tractor.
Yeah, exactly. and I was like,
I'm not going to ask the details about the back of that truck.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
family farm. It's
don't.
family run farm, all right? No, but right when you started talking, I was like, this guy is our guy. Like this is our type of dude, you know. Like he really cares about meat. He's here. He's having a good time on this with the family on this farm. We're all cracking jokes, and I was like, this guy is, he's an honorary meat dude, So we want to come out
Thank
here.
you. Thank you.
Me too.
We're going to get you a shirt.
In May
Please.
barbecue month, man, we wanted to do some features on some of our favorite places, and we finally came out here to check you out, man. And we've been talking about it, but like we're super stoked to be here. So thanks for hosting
I'm
us, man.
super grateful that you guys included me in barbecue month and that I was on your radar, and I'm welcome. I'm so glad that you're at Buckshot Honey.
Oh, yeah.
Love it,
delicious.
dude.
We just had some treats.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we're talking all
Had
about the
some
food,
goodies.
man. Dude, seriously, I mean, like we all know, when you start with great product, your end result is much better. And like just
For sure.
those pork belly and those brisket burnt ends, bro. Like
You were down on
Glad
that.
you liked it.
You were
I
down.
know,
on,
dude.
You were down for
We
the
don't-
brisket.
we don't do a lot of
burgers.
brisket burnt ends, so like this was my treat here to get some of that. So that was good, man.
We'd like to do it a little.
Accepted.
We like to do it a little different too, and just like a bucket of burnt ends tossed in barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
I feel like just get a little creative, have a little fun, and do it your own way, and
Absolutely.
keep your fingers crossed. And luckily for me, people love it.
But you've been cooking for a long time.
It's true.
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah.
So
And,
how long have you been cooking?
Well, my dad and his best friend had some restaurants on Catalina Island when I was growing up in like Inglewood, and so I was that kid who was cutting the worms out of swordfish in the back of the kitchen and peeling prawns and shit like that.
Dang.
So I've kind of been cooking my whole life. He married a Japanese woman after when I was like 12, and so I also had a lot of experience with this beautiful Japanese family that took me in and showed me a lot of
That's amazing.
fun stuff in the kitchen. So yeah, I've always been super and then coming from the South, like kitchen is where the heart is, man. It's where you're hanging out with your grandparents and all your relatives, and everyone's always cooking.
That's crazy.
So it's
So your
just
mom's
kind
from
of.
the South.
My mom was born in Uvalde, Texas, and her mom was from Weston, West Virginia, but
Okay.
they all settled like in Florida. And so I grew up like catching snakes in the swamps and, shit like that.
See, that's what I thought,
So-
because you said Inglewood, and I was like, man, like I thought he was from like the South, like the style of food.
Yeah, my
like,
parents separated at a very early age, and so I got to spend my school years in the South and my summers in Los Angeles.
Wow.
So yeah, I
That's
kind of
not
had
too
the best
bad.
of both worlds.
Dude.
That's some fucking street cred.
That's dope, dude.
Right
Thanks,
there.
man.
Yeah, no, it totally is.
Well, I love the story of how this got its name too, and I know probably a lot of your listeners and they know it, but like in your customers, but like, can you just quickly tell us the story of like how the name came about? I love it.
Yeah. So every year, my grandma, my mom, these are the women on the walls. They would take me we'd do a road trip from Florida to Weston, West Virginia, and would stop, say hi to some of these crazy old hillbilly relatives. I was like 13. I didn't know what to think. And I was like, man, these people are whack. And but I had an Aunt Thelma and an Aunt Louise, and they adored me, and they weren't like my aunts. They were like my great aunts. They were my great grandmother's sisters.
Okay.
And so they made their own clothes, they grew their own food, and they hunted. They ironed bed sheets for a living.
Okay.
And this whole town of Weston, West Virginia, the economy was from an insane asylum. And so most people worked at the hospitals. They did not. They ironed bed sheets.
Okay.
But it was a very strange Appalachia. When you think of Appalachia hillbillies, like, man, this is pretty par.
Yeah.
And
Oh my god.
but anyway,
It's like out of a movie.
pretty much.
Yeah,
And so
dude.
so they were straight up like, hey, honey, we're going to go get some dinner. we'll be back in a couple hours. And I was like, cool. They had a fun yard that I was playing in. And
Go get dinner. Okay.
yeah, and so they came back. I thought they were going to come back with a couple to-go boxes.
Yeah, right.
Nah, man. They came back with a grip of squirrels. And, you know, they had these shotguns, little 14 shotguns that they carried. And they did this with these white dresses on that you see in the pictures. They were all handmade.
You gotta get some photos of that.
Made their own clothes. And anyway, they put up this big spread, collard greens, cornbread, and they roasted the squirrels whole. And so you'd pick up the whole critter and just get into it. And but there was a empty bowl on the table, and so I was like, did we forget something? Like, yeah, like what's the bowl for? And she put her arm around me and she goes, it's for the buckshot, honey. And I was like,
oh, wow.
Oh. And so, yeah, then I started finding the buckshot in my squirrel and spitting it into the bowl.
Did you ever bite one?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it hurts. But I was telling this story in a kitchen in Seattle one day, and everybody in the room was just like mouth open, like, Dave, that's what you got to name your first restaurant. And I was like, that's a great fucking idea.
Seriously. So when I first heard it, man, I laughed out loud. I was like, that is so awesome, man. I love that.
Yeah, I had no idea it was an unusual story. So, yeah, and I'm really pleased that people adore the story because it means a lot to me, and it's cool to bring these women of, you know, my ancestors pretty much. Growing, you know, being a woman is hard at all times, but in Appalachia and in West Virginia, I'll never forget how their hands from working so hard their whole lives. And so I'm honored to include them into my success in the story of my restaurant.
So cool.
Let's ask Evan just real quick. You don't know Evan as well as you know me, but
what's up?
Would you eat a squirrel?
Oh man, if it was prepared by your great aunts, yeah, bro. I'm thinking I would.
They
dude.
Taste super good.
You know, I totally would, man. I don't think maybe before. You know, I met all you guys. I don't know if I would have. Maybe, you know, because like you telling that story in Seattle, people are like, "What the hell does that even mean?"
Well, we're not eating squirrels at a volunteer park, you know. Like, you can taste like the things that they eat, like the spruce or whatever trees that they're living in. Like you pick up on these little notes, which I always find interesting because I've eaten squirrels in different parts of the country now. And you can pick up on those. I still go squirrel hunting out here now. We have an invasive squirrel out here at the Eastern Gray, and so I have a small game license, but I called them, and they're like, "Oh, you don't need it. Just take them, Dave. Please, just take these squirrels." And so, I'll go out and
I'm gonna
pop a
request
couple.
that I can come on
Yeah.
that trip.
Let's do it.
I want to eat some.
Oh man, yeah, dude, I'm
Let's
down,
do that.
dude. I'm down.
And a lot of people. Like after that squirrel was roasted in the story, but since then I've had like a country fried steak version, and it was delicious. It's a lot of work because their little thighs is like the meatiest part.
Yeah.
But if you fry those like chicken, oh my god,
Really?
so good.
Wow, dude. Would it ever be on the menu?
No,
I don't know if it legally could be on the menu.
I don't think I could get enough, and I oftentimes wish I could, and then that puts me fantasizing about a squirrel farm. Could you ever imagine how crazy a squirrel farm would be?
Dude.
How could you eat? Yeah.
I don't think you could. I think that's why we don't. There's no way to do it.
No, it'd be like those cages like they keep the big birds in.
Three
You know?
of these fluffy tails in my backyard.
Dog,
It's
one for
very,
each.
Very territorial. And they chase each other in the morning and like get after each other. Like there's one alpha. There definitely is an alpha
Yeah.
squirrel in the
Oh yeah, I'm
We
sure.
gotta take him out first, man. The others will follow.
You out.
Yeah.
And squirrels, they I think they have 3 litters every year.
3
Whoa.
what?
3 litters of.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, three burrs. I think they get like three squirrels each
Jeez.
time. But
Wow.
anyway, we're kind of going off on squirrels, guys.
This is cool though, man. One of the questions I was gonna ask.
We're the meat dudes, right?
I was gonna ask what's
Buckshot
like most
Honey.
obscure meat you've ever eaten, but like that might be up there. That's crazy, man.
I love it.
That's so
There's
cool.
a huge squirrel competition in Arkansas that I want to go to. It's like the world championship of squirrel cook-off.
squirrel
Shut
cook-off, and they got
Yeah,
to hunt
man.
it.
We should go.
Shut up.
I know, right?
That would be a cool thing
It's
to
in
feature,
September.
man. Okay, that would be a cool thing to feature.
I'm just gonna let you know right now. I'm gonna be on all of August, all of September.
Squirrel hunt.
Yeah.
Probably October.
Man, I would have never guessed. That's That's cool. I'd try it though. I definitely would try it. I would. I was gonna. Yeah, man. Let's put some on the smoker.
Well, next time I get some squirrels, if you don't go with me, I'll make sure to bring some down to
Yeah.
Lady J.
Please do.
What a trip.
We'll get into it.
That would be so cool.
What a
dude.
trip. All right.
I love it.
I will
man.
take your squirrel and trade you a tomahawk.
Sounds great. What a deal.
So man, so what's the you kind of talked about bringing your ancestors basically to this place and honoring them. What else is kind of some inspiration behind this place and why you wanted to do it here and why you wanted to use pure country meats and all that kind of stuff, man?
A lot of it, well, just in my career, my very first chef job was at Portage Bay Cafe, and that was like one of the first restaurants I ever saw that really cared about sustainability.
Yeah.
That are very organic and very locally sourced.
Cool.
And so working there, I learned a lot about how important all those things are and how it's our responsibility to eat like that.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And then after traveling a little bit, through China, I backpacked through rural China, and I saw a lot of people smoking, whether it be on a skyscraper in Shanghai, on like some trash bags in a coat rack, or to an abandoned building out in rural like Fuhong, Zhangcha. I was like, smoking is kind of like every culture does it.
Yeah.
So I saw it in Italy. And also a lot of these places, the best thing I had been passed down from generation. And then you come back to America, and I feel like we're losing that.
Oh,
like
okay.
if I could do a public service announcement, it would be like, ask your grandparents for recipes, because I just don't see a lot of that anymore.
Yep.
And I think that is super important, especially pre-World War II, because everything went so processed after that war.
Oh yeah.
Where rabbit used to be the number one eaten white meat in America.
Wow.
But people thought there was too many bones, too much work, and so that's when they
lot
found
of
this
little
chicken
working
breast
parts.
that they could get with no bones. So stuff like that, I just I don't think we should forget about the way we used to eat, because right now the food chain is in jeopardy, and I think
Wow.
bringing those practices back into play is important.
Well said, man. Absolutely.
And it's on us as
damn.
restaurateurs and chefs and whatnots to do that, not only because we think it's right, it is right.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah,
It
it's
is.
not an opinion.
Yeah.
It's a
And
fact.
It's hard to sometimes tell people how much this shit costs.
Yeah.
Because it's expensive. And
Yes,
it's
it
only
is.
going to get more expensive. I mean, transportation, agriculture, seed for your crops, like all of that stuff that it takes to build one animal is it's craziness.
Yeah.
And it's going up every year.
1,000%, man, and it's nice that when I look at your menu, it's like everything's like whole, right? It's like local brisket, local vegetables, everything is just like made like whole, and you talk about before World War II. And like after World War II, everything's just processed, So
Totally.
it's like so nice to just get like a whole meal of like good meats, good vegetables. Like you do vegetables just as well as you do meats, and I love that here.
Thank
that
you.
was so cool. That cauliflower we had
Cauliflower
was
was
so rocking, man, and that's like
delightful.
so important for like everybody to experience all that with the smoking. So I agree, man. I think you're doing such a cool thing here. I love it. I hope people can come out here and check it out, because this is worth it, man. This is really cool.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
And you can go play Mount Si golf course.
That's okay.
And you could do that. Yes. Find your favorite swimming hole.
Yeah, man.
Go to the falls. That's beautiful out
Oh,
here.
dude.
It is.
Make a trip.
I feel very lucky to do what I'm doing out here in the mountains.
Yeah.
And a lot of this concept came from the town we're in too, Snoqualmie. We're sitting in a bank that was built in 1923. It was built to run the payroll for the loggers through. Yeah. And so I definitely thought about how were they cooking when this was built. This is exactly how they were cooking. So they were cooking over logs.
Tons of heritage out
Fermenting,
here in Snoqualmie.
pickling, and smoking, and
Pickling.
barbecuing. Yeah.
Preserves.
Yeah. Just like Grandma used to do,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go home and get what recipe you're gonna ask your mom for.
Dude, man. I gotta think about that. My grandma just recently passed, and she was very much into pickling everything.
There you go.
Had the garden and everything. So I might actually reach out to my aunt, who is very close to her as well, and maybe kind of see about some of those recipes because I want to do some pickling.
Yeah.
I think it's super
You
important.
know, when my mom and dad got married, my dad's mom asked my mother whose spaghetti recipe sauce she was going to use. And she was like, of course, she was like, my mother's. And, because my grandma was married to an Italian man, Sicilian man. And so my mom actually came up with her own recipe for our family spaghetti sauce with half of her mom's and half of my
Ooh, a little mix.
My dad's.
That's cool.
Hey,
I like it.
A little fusion.
I still have the recipe.
A little Pelagi fusion. I like that,
Mama
man.
Pelagi is what it says.
Beautiful.
On the recipe.
Love that, man.
On a 3x5 note card.
Hey, what question were you gonna ask, Dave? What's your one
Dude,
question,
so,
man?
I don't really get to interview a whole lot of people anymore, like in the restaurant, but I always get a taste of what somebody's character is when I ask them this
It's
question.
a hard-hitting question here.
So, in baseball, if you're like a big hitter, and every time you come up to bat, there's your song that plays when you're getting ready to come up and knock a ball out of the park. What's your song?
Probably the first one that enters my head is "You Can't Bring Me Down" by Suicidal Tendencies.
Okay.
Sarah's gonna love that one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
she will, dude. She will.
I have multiple.
Yeah,
but-
you've been thinking
Oh
about
yeah,
this for
I
a
mean I
while,
could
dude.
keep
No,
going. I
I
could
mean,
keep going.
Dude, we could go on forever, right? Like Twisted Sister, I Want to Rock.
Totally.
Yep. JT, bringing sexy back.
Yeah. That would be yours for sure, dude.
That's one of my questions I like.
Yeah, dude.
Love it.
It's the hard-hitting journalism that we bring.
It really
here, and
is.
that's what we love, man.
It's kind of like
Cerebral.
you ever been in a job interview and someone's like, "What's the last book you read?" And you're like,
Catcher in the Rye.
I was in junior high.
yeah, right."
No, that's not right. I listen to a lot of books. I don't read a lot of books anymore, but I listen to a lot of books. I'll fall asleep if I start reading, man. I'm
Same,
busy as
dude.
hell, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I get home, I sit down, and like open a book, and I'm like,
Eyes are like, "Whoop."
if I'm walking, well, I can listen to a book for hours.
I have to take Adderall to actually read a book. For
Wow.
real, dude.
Really?
I got
You gotta take
ADD.
Adderall to do everything,
I
man.
do. I'm on Adderall right now.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Man. Well, what else do you want to add, Dave? Anything you got for us about this place,
No, man, I'm just super. I'm really happy you guys are here. I'm
it's
really
cool.
glad that I got
Heck
to
yeah.
feed you, and
So
we
fun.
get to have these conversations that are they're meaningful. And
Yeah.
I hope people can take what we're doing and take it to heart and understand why we do it a little
Yeah.
bit better.
Totally, man.
Yeah, without complaining about prices too much.
Support your local
Yes.
community.
Yes.
Exactly.
Who uses local meat, because,
Also,
you can go to restaurants that maybe aren't as expensive, but where's that meat coming from? Like, that's our big thing, right? Where's your meat coming from?
Right.
We want to know.
Yeah,
How
and
many miles from here? It's like, what do we drive? 45 miles out here?
Yep, 45
You're
miles.
even closer than we are.
Yeah. It's
yeah,
like,
and
beer.
it's like I feel like everybody should know where their food comes from.
It's crazy. It's crazy that we don't think about that much anymore. Like, the general public does not think about
Yeah.
that. Don't care. I'm getting just strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, blackberries year-round. I don't care. I don't care where it comes from. I don't care.
It's
what's
almost
it's
more
in it.
important than knowing your daughter's boyfriend.
Almost. My daughter's 3, so I don't got that yet.
Mine's
So
8, so I'm
Yeah,
not
you got
quite,
some time.
I'm not
I'm just
quite there
saying,
yet.
you should know
Yeah.
where this shit comes from.
absolutely, it's so important, man. It's so
We
important.
had CN on the podcast a long time ago and asked him what you should ask your butcher.
Oh yeah.
And this question resonates with me a lot. And CN was like, ask your butcher where it comes from and have you visited that farm? Have you
Yeah.
been to that farm?
Yeah, totally.
And your butcher's going to be like, no, it's $17.95.
Yeah.
No, I love.
Next.
He said, "Can you visit the farm?
can you?"
Yeah.
Is it
You're
even
right.
visitable?
True.
I mean, that's like crazy, right? A lot of them are like, "Hey, stay the hell away from here. Don't look into these
Right.
metal shelves here."
Well, that's crazy too. That there's such a blindfold on everything up until it leaves the processing plant.
Oh yeah.
Especially in like the Midwest.
For for sure.
It's like nobody knows what's happening behind those scenes.
You can't.
And
can't
so, yeah, I mean, that should be very transparent.
Yes.
It's a problem that it's not.
Exactly.
And you should only spend your money where those things are available for you to understand.
And you're right. And one of my favorite parts when we were touring Pure Country was that he pointed, he goes, hey, over there is where our animals, we've given antibiotics to, because guess what?
Yeah.
This is a farm. Animals do get sick.
Yeah,
so
everything gets sick.
we
Everybody
separate
gets sick.
them, and we sell them to other people, and then everybody, because it's a never ever farm. So
Right.
like they're animals that we get, never ever, no hormones, no antibiotics, nothing.
I specifically remember that moment
Yeah.
in the trip, and
I was like,
yeah,
how transparent is that? That was so cool.
totally. It's
man.
like, yeah.
most
Sometimes
farmers aren't
things
gonna-
happen, and we have to help the animals with medicine.
Right.
But those animals are now out of this project.
Out of our circle.
Right,
yeah.
right.
Totally, man. That was so cool, so meaningful, so transparent, and
That's a
that made me like
crazy
trust him even
educational
more.
thing
Yeah.
Yeah.
to learn.
Right?
Dude,
Yeah.
It really is.
Because a lot of farms are like, we don't use it, no, but like they do. Animals get sick, and it's humane to treat them.
Yeah.
But now you just can't say that they're never ever hormone and antibiotic. So
Yep. They go into a different program now.
yep, go to that different program. That's fine. Hey, all good. Well, shoot, guys. Should we wrap it? We got to get back to Lady J. We got some specialty people.
Yeah, you got
coming
some
into-
special
We
guests.
got some
You got
folks
some-
coming in
Yeah,
today.
we'll see. I'm hoping. We'll kind of.
You guys are having a great day. I love it.
It is an awesome
beautiful
day,
day.
man.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's so nice out here.
Totally.
It was such a beautiful drive out here. It took us 30 minutes.
So nice, dude.
Come on.
Yeah.
It's not that
Thanks
far.
Thanks so much for taking the time.
Yeah, man. You're
Don't-
coming in next too,
Don't
right?
be
Yeah,
surprised
for sure.
Okay,
when you
good,
see
good.
my Tacoma in the parking lot with the tent on top.
All right.
I might
Yeah,
just-
he'll be camping
Love
out
it.
here, bro.
Yeah, I'll be watching over your brisket.
Sounds good, buddy.
All right. Well, hey, Lady J Meat Dudes, we're signing off. I'm Evan.
Tyler.
And Dave.
Let's go.
Bye, guys.